Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. We will continue with the sweep feature in this video. So, in the previous video, we have covered the sweep command in using the proe environment. So, today, the same profile I have generated here in the CREO environment, and let me show you the difference between the two softwares. So within the sweep command, again, you will find that sweep option within the protrusion group of commands. So simply click on the sweep command, and no pop-up appears in this case. So proe basically gives you a proper way for generating the sketches and the profiles. So here you will need to define the sketch by yourself. So if you do not have any sketch and you click on the sweep tab, so you will have to define that, and there is no sketch available here हमारे पास, but it is for the the section, not for the trajectory. So you have to define the trajectory first. So the sketcher tab is available over here. So if you are currently in the sweep command and you want to go for a trajectory, so you can always use this option, click on that particular tab, and then from here you can go for the sketcher, and it will bring you to the sketch mode, और वहाँ पे आप ये trajectory बता सकते हैं. Otherwise you can start with a sketch, make your desired profile like this one, and then I can click on the sweep command, and then you can pick any option from the dashboard area. So here you can see both options are available. You can generate your profile as a solid model or as a surface model, and references में अगर आप देखते हैं, so you have to select the trajectories. So first you have to select a trajectory, so I will select this one. Once you select the trajectory, so then you will be able to sketch the profile. Now you have the sketch profile available to you. ठीक है ना? So and you can generate that as a solid, as a surface, or as a thickened object. These two options are new: section unchanged and allow section to change. So this is basically a separate command in proe that we will do both in CREO as well as in proe, but not in this video. So it is variable section sweep. So you can define more than one trajectory for a section. Here you will need to define one trajectory and one section. And here one, of course the section will be one, but you can go for multiple trajectories, and we will see the effect of that later on. So in this video I'm only going to discuss the unchanged option. So if it is set to this one, and when you select the trajectory, so the sketcher will be available to you, and now you can go to the sketch mode. So rest of procedure is the same as that of the proe. So this cross here, in this case, this is that cross here. It gives you the start point of the trajectory. So that is for your reference. And as discussed in the previous video, that you can start sketching anywhere on the screen. So the generation will be at that particular location. But this is for your reference. If you want to make your profile exactly on top of the trajectory, so you can use this one. So let me change the view a little bit. So this is that start point of the trajectory, and that you can use. So if I go back to the sketch view, and let me make a simple trajectory, like for example rectangle. Let us say a circle out of the rectangle, and then I will dimension it maybe to 20 units, or make it a little bit smaller, 10 units. Okay. So once you complete the section, simply click on the OK button and you will get your desired result over here. But remember that you do not have that pop-up option for CREO. And if you want to change the sketch, so independently you have to change them. So if you go back to the sketcher, so you can change the sketch, and then we'll click the OK button. But not for the trajectory. Path is not change नहीं कर सकते. Independently वो फिर आप उस sketch को जो है वो modify करेंगे. So that's it for the CREO. So this is the difference between the two options. As a surface आप कर सकते हैं, as a thick model आप कर सकते हैं. That depends on you. Thick model आप करेंगे, so you will then give your thickness over here. Otherwise, the methodology remains the same. Working principle जो है वो वही होगा, but the steps are a little bit different from that of the proe. So let me go back to the proe environment, and I have already created a solid part, and let me change the view to the wireframe model so you can see. So I have a rectangular block, a solid block, and I have two additional sketches, and those sketches are nothing, they are simple splines. So one sketch has been created on the top face of this rectangular block, and other is at the mid region. So इसमें मैंने क्या किया है कि I have simply created a datum plane parallel to this top plane, and the offset distance is 50 units. So total height of the block is 100 units. So this datum 1 exactly lies at the mid section of the plane, and then using that datum 1 plane, I have created another profile, which is this spline, which starts from this edge of the block up to this one. So I have these two sketches, and now I will use again the sweep command, and this time I will try to use the cut option. So sweep cut option भी आप use कर सकते हैं. So if I go to the insert menu, और insert में यहाँ पे sweep में आप जाएंगे, so now you can see that the thin cut and the cut options are also available to you. Because we already have a part, so we can remove the new generated part from the existing one. So if I click on the cut extrusion or cut protrusion of the sweep option, so you will see the same pop-up that will appear on the screen, और उसमें दो options जो है वो तो वही है. You will have to define the trajectory, you will have to define the section, and the material side an additional option is also available. That is because you will have to remove that from the existing part, so you then have also to define the side of removal के कौन सा region जो है वो आप remove करना चाहते हैं. So the arrowhead is at the trajectory and it is in the defining phase. You have those two options, select trajectory and sketch trajectory. So now I have trajectories which I can select. So instead of sketch trajectory option, I will use the select trajectory. And then these are the options regarding the selection. So if you have multiple lines, both of them are single entities. ठीक है ना, एक ही spline है. But let us say if your sketch is made of different lines and curves and arcs, so you can select each and every entity individually, one by one, or you can use the tangent chain curve, or you can use the curve chain. So if I click on the curve chain, so all the connected entities will be selected if you click on one of the entity. Otherwise you can go to the one by one option. So इस पे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ेगा if I use the 1 by 1 or the chain method. So let me select first this the mid plane पे जो मैंने section बनाया हुआ है, I will select it and will click the OK button. So then it will ask you to select the start point of the trajectory कि यहाँ से आप generation start करना चाहते हैं या यहाँ से आप करना चाहते हैं. So if you want to change that start point, so you can simply click on the start point option and it will ask you to either accept that or not. So this is right now the start point. So if I so it is a single entity, so I have 2 points, this point and this point. So if I click on the next, so it will jump to the next point. So if you want to say to take this as your start point, so you can accept, otherwise you can click on the next, so it will jump to the next point, and next point is again this particular point. So if you have multiple points with multiple entities, so you can select any point as your starting point of generation. So I will accept that. So now you can see this arrowhead that the generation will start right from this particular point. So once you are satisfied with the selection, click on the done button. And then further you will get these two options, that is the merge end options and the free ends options. So first I will select the free ends option. Free ends option and merge end option का difference ये है कि normally when you have a profile and that profile generates along a path, so the orientation of the section is normal to the path, 90 degree पे ही होती है. But for example, if you have edges like at certain angle to that trajectory, like in this case, so if you look at this trajectory, it is making an angle with that particular straight edge. So if I set it to the free end option, so it will always be जो generation आपका जो section होगा, that will be 90 degree to that particular path. But if you click on the merge ends, so it doesn't matter that the relation in between the trajectory and the existing solid body is 90 degree or 180 degree or 45 degree. It will try to generate the profile up to the end surface of the existing solid. So you will see the effect in a little bit. So right now I am selecting the free ends option. So free ends, and I will click the done button. So this is that yellow cross that gives you the start point of your trajectory. So this is useful now in this case because you are exactly needing your profile at that particular location where your trajectory has been defined. So I will select, let me again start with a simple rectangle, this one, और इसको मैं OK कर देता हूँ. So this is that next section. So you have defined the trajectory, you have defined the attributes to free ends, you have now defined the section, and you will be defining the material side. What side of this particular solid will be removed from the other solid. So ज़ाहिर है you have to go for the internal region, otherwise you can flip the external region. So if it is a thickened part, or like for example consisting of 3 or 4 multiple entities, so you can always use the flip option. So I will in this case remove the internal region and will click the OK button. So now if you click on the preview button, so you can see that it has generated that particular rectangle along the trajectory और इसको अगर मैं सॉलिड ऑप्शन पे करूँ, so at the face, let me turn off the coordinates and the, so if you look at the highlighted curves, so that rectangle basically starts from this particular point, wireframe में आपको नजर आएगा, so it is starting, but it is not removing that particular face from the front face of the rectangle, neither at this particular direction. So you are only seeing this hollow section, but actually it should be like the whole rectangle, and this is because of that free ends option. अगर इस attribute को मैं click करके define करूँ, so I can redefine that, or as I said, you can double click on that. So if I double click the attributes option, and from free end, if I go for the merge end option, and then you want to check the preview, so now you can see that it will force that entity to go up to the end point of that face. So normal circumstances where the trajectory, the profile will always be normal to the arc, that is the trajectory. So in this case, I have forced that. Now you can see that it has totally removed that particle. So this is the difference between the merge ends and the free ends option. So that's it. इसको मैं OK कर देता हूँ. And now let us again use the sweep option, cut. Let me use the top curve. So trajectory में I will go for the selection. इस कर्व को मैं select करूँगा, OK. Start point, let us say this is the start point. Done. I will set it to the, let me first set it to the free end option. Done. This is that start point, and suppose I create a circle on that particular point. You can set the diameter, so let it be as it is. So I will click on the OK button, and then material side is of course the inside material, and I will click on the OK option. And now let us check the preview of this particular option. So now again you can see that this section has not been removed because of the attribute set to the free end. So if it is free end, so the section will always be normal to the end points at any point basically, but this is the end point of the trajectory. So at the end point it is normal to that section, and if I change it to, let us say, merge ends, so it will extend that particular section up to the edge. इसको मैं merge ends कर देता हूँ. Done. And then if you want to check the preview, you can. So this is now your end result, and similarly you can look at over here. Okay? So if it is set to free end and you want to check the preview, so you have to regenerate that. या तो आप regenerate करेंगे या ये view आप change करते हैं, automatically it will be regenerated. Otherwise you have to click on this regenerate tab. Control G. So you can see now that this section is normal at this particular point, which is the end point. So यहाँ से यहाँ तक चूँकि इसका region आ रहा है, so here also it will be normal to that trajectory. And if I set it to merge end option, and you then check the preview, so it will be done. So that's it.